Hello. We need to come in strong.
Beginning?
Yeah.
Wow. Good
Hello,
try.
everyone. Episode 3.
Yep.
3. We're back again.
What have you just listened to this in a chain of them? We never
and
left.
We're continued.
Sure.
We carry on.
Yep. How do you feel that this is the third one of the new one?
Brilliant. Love number 3. I don't know, it feels like we've not done 3, but we haven't done 3 because we've done 2. This makes no sense.
I was going to say it
frowning
feels
at me.
like we've done more than
You reckon?
2 already, yeah.
I don't know, it feels like we're still getting back into the swing of it.
Well, a little bit for sure.
Yeah.
So, fortunately before we started the podcast, we visited 3 theme parks, or at least 3 theme parks not in the UK. We covered Efteling in the first one, Plopsaland Japan in the second, and we're going to cover Walibi Holland today, which I'm going to let you lead most of because it was not a new park to me, but a new park to you. Would you rather do that first or talk about boat coasters?
Let's talk about that first, and we'll leave everyone in suspense because we may or may not... Are we revealing the results?
Yeah.
So we may or may not be talking about
We are.
the results.
We are talking
I know,
about the
I know. Making it as like a,
Yeah,
a little bit of a teaser.
Unless you're listening to this the day it came out, it's not even then it's not that exciting.
No,
it came out
I know.
2 days ago.
But
results.
still exciting.
Come
on, Harry.
They're not available as of the day we speak.
No.
But
still, like, it's more exciting than us talking about Untamed, basically. I would say.
Sure.
Okay.
So Wallaby Holland.
Yeah.
What do you know?
What do you mean by that?
Just generally.
What do you mean by that?
Give me some information about Wallaby Holland.
Walibi Holland is part of the Wallaby group.
I mean...
Because there's more than one Wallaby, and every time you say Wallaby, I don't know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. The group is not called the Wallaby group.
No. That's me
I
making
can't
up a
remember what they're
name for it.
called.
If it's the Wallaby group, incredible.
Compagnie des Alpes. So
Company
French.
of the Alps.
French company created in 1989 to operate many ski resorts in Europe. But they've obviously went on to buy...
Now they've got theme parks.
Theme parks. They own quite a few.
So Wallaby is not the brand, it's like just... What does Wallaby mean?
Well, Wallaby is the brand.
But not the company that owns it.
No, it must have... I assume that there was a Wallaby brand that then got taken over by this chain.
Right, I see.
So this chain, theme park wise, owns Parc Asterix. It's a big one in
Okay.
France. Wallaby Rhone Alps, Futuroscope, Jardin d'Acclimation, the one in the centre of Paris.
Right.
Wallaby Belgium. I can't pronounce half of these things.
Okay. So a lot of theme parks, basically.
Belawade, something like that. Wallaby Holland. Yeah. So a fair amount of like...
But they're not all wallabies.
No, they're not all wallabies.
I just think of Wallaby the animal.
Yeah, I mean, that is probably somewhat related, I would have thought.
Really?
I don't know.
I feel like it's not related.
Why would it be called Wallaby?
Well, Google what's Wallaby mean in French.
It was subsequently purchased by the Wallaby Group that autumn.
Oh, so there is a group.
Yeah, there was.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't tell me anything about what the Wallaby Group is.
Anyway, it's a theme park in the Netherlands.
Most interestingly, it's not in Holland. It's not in the area of Holland, of the Netherlands. As far as I'm aware. Maybe
So
I'll be
is that
corrected.
just them being incorrect in terms of they forget that the Netherlands is now Holland, not Holland?
It's probably a legacy,
Right.
a legacy thing, because I think it was called like Fleevlo Land at one point or something stupid, which is actually where it is. Then it got bought out in, I think, 1998 and was a Six Flags park.
Okay.
And when it was a Six Flags park, it became Six Flags Holland.
No way.
Yeah, because obviously...
So they've kept the Holland name.
When
then.
people think of the Netherlands, they just think of Holland, apparently.
Of course, yeah.
So Six Flags
Holland.
Netherlands doesn't really hit the same,
The
I guess.
Netherlands.
Yeah. Six Flags, the Netherlands.
Wallaby, the Netherlands.
Even though Walibi Belgium is called Walibi Belgium. So Six Flags Belgium, which it was renamed at one point.
I think it's just catchier to be Holland, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess, but factually incorrect.
Well, they should just do like Nev or something. Wallaby Nev.
Six Flag, yeah, Wallaby Ned.
Ned.
That's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nederland.
Yeah, so...
Six Flags Neder.
Yeah. Anyway,
Anyway.
Enough on the name.
Yeah.
I don't know. I the only thing I'd really seen about it before was obviously like Untamed being changed into Untamed.
Do you remember what it was
What's
called
it
before?
called? Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously I saw your vlog from when you went with all the lads and you ate loads of pizza.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, didn't really know much about it, to be honest. So going in fresh.
Can you name some of the rides? What are the heavy hitters?
Goliath.
Which is what type of ride?
A big one.
Right.
A
know?
hyper, not B&M.
Nearly a hyper. It's a mega coaster.
Mega
it's not quite a hyper
coaster.
coaster. That whole mega hyper giga
It's a fine line.
is strata is all really stupid.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a
It's a
mega
big one.
coaster built by
Not B&M.
no.
The other people who make those.
What?
Well, like other people who make them well, right?
Such as
I really don't know.
it's Intamin.
Intamin. Okay.
Yeah. So we've got Goliath.
Yeah.
We've got Untamed.
Untamed.
Built by
RMC.
Yep. What else?
The yellow one.
Yeah, the yellow and black one.
Not sure what that's called. What is it called?
It's about
No Limits. No, not that.
It's about the thing that pulls the phenomenon that pulls things to the middle of the earth.
Gravity. Lost Gravity.
Yes.
Yes.
And who's that one made by?
I want to say Gerst.
I wish
It's
it
not
was.
Gerst.
It's not.
It's a bad version of Gerst.
Well, depends.
An okay
We'll get
version
into
of
that.
Gerst. I don't know why you make me guess. This is so
just
boring. I
interesting.
don't know the answer.
Mack rides.
Mac rides. Okay.
What else?
We're getting a bit.
Well, those are the main
The big three, yeah.
roller coasters.
I remember a lot of the theming, but not the rides. It's not bad.
Platform 13.
Oh,
That.
yeah. We'll get onto that in a minute.
The rock and roller coaster. Clone.
Horror show. What
Yeah.
else do they have?
Rapids.
Did we go on the rapids?
Yep. Log flume. Went on log flume.
I don't remember any of this.
They also have a few other things like Speed of Sound, which is their Vacom Boomerang, and Condor, their SLC.
We didn't go on that,
We didn't
did
go
we?
on either of those
No.
because there was no
We ain't
point
about that
doing
life. No.
that. We've got a few other bits and bobs, but I honestly think that we mainly just went between the three big rides. 90%
Yeah,
of the time.
maybe because we didn't do a lot of other stuff, but it feels like they've got a lot of like. There's a lot to do considering we only went on like 3 rides basically.
Yeah, but they're all kind of heavy hitters, I guess, is the way to.
No, but I mean the stuff in between isn't like dead.
No.
There's some stuff going on.
Yeah. I don't really know what we did, to be honest.
We
Just kinda
ate one
chill.
of those sausage rolls with curry inside.
Yeah,
We did that.
that was alright.
What else did we eat that day? Food review.
Some chicken strips.
Chicken strips.
That's
Oh,
fine.
that we had to queue forever for. Was
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Big queues for the chicken
I
strips.
mean, it wasn't huge. It was like 10 minutes, maybe.
Bit
Right.
longer than that.
Maybe a bit longer, which, I've heard much worse for other theme parks.
Yeah, just
Even the
there
same
didn't
one.
really look like a lot of sense of urgency in this one.
No, definitely not.
But we'll let them off. Okay, so should we just review the top 3 and also
Well-
that horrific rock and roller coaster one?
Yeah, can you remember what we did first?
Why do we have to go in order?
Well, it's just more interesting to...
No, I can't remember what we did first. Untamed?
It was Untamed.
Okay.
Can you remember...
This is like a quiz of my life. It's
Well,
stressful.
Basically. We did Untamed. Go on then, Untamed.
Yeah.
Well, I want to go Untamed first because we rode it first thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you remember?
When it wasn't running fast.
Exactly. So what was your thoughts at that point,
Meh.
if you can remember?
Meh.
Meh. I think we were like dead middle of the train as well. So
yeah, not
we
helpful.
weren't in the best position.
I feel like I thought it was slightly better than Wildfire
At that point. Okay.
I think overall it is better than Wildfire.
Yeah.
And I think it was even at that point during the day. Also, the theming helped because
It looks nice.
it was cute.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an overly themed roller coaster. I mean, it's pretty much themed to being overgrown.
But it's quite subtle.
But it works, though. The wooden aesthetic of the ride itself.
Yeah,
and the
train's cute with
the
all
brown track and the dragonfly-looking train.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all kind of blends in, and it
makes sense.
Roller coaster that isn't themed but stylized, and it looks actually really nice.
Mm-hmm.
The station's cool with the waterfall on the side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Inside the station's pretty cool as well, with all of the plants and stuff. It's got a dispatch sound. That's always good.
Love it.
Can't argue with that. Yeah, I think my initial reactions is probably the same. I think with Untamed, you have high expectations. Referencing Vote Coasters, I think it's been in the top 10 of Vote Coasters consistently.
Yeah.
So I knew it was good, and I knew that quite a lot of people really rated it. So I was going in with the expectation that, okay, this is going to be pretty good. And we got on it, and middle of the row, like second train of the day, and it was pretty good, wasn't it? It was pretty good. I don't think it was...
It didn't blow our minds.
No, it didn't blow our minds.
But equally, like, if you rode Wicker Man first thing, it wouldn't live up to my expectations of Wicker Man as an actual ride itself.
Yeah.
It's quite difficult to tell first thing.
Yeah.
But then what about when it warmed up?
Well, you tell me.
Well, I just don't think it got... Like, we have to remember this is not my kind of ride. Like, it's quite... I don't know how to describe. Not chaotic, but...
It's too vicious for you.
It's a lot.
The airtime is too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the nice airtime. Well, it's not even that, actually. The airtime is strong, but I think the thing is that it's so up and down. It's so bouncy in the sense that, you're thrown out of your seat and you're back into your seat. Mm-hmm. You're thrown out of your seat. It's not like one consistently big hill.
Yeah.
Helix has 2 airtime hills and you're out of your seat for 2 seconds over each of them. This is more half a second,
chaos.
half a second, half a second.
Yeah.
So it rides very different to kind of other airtime related rides.
I think with rides like that, I don't have enough time for my brain to compute what's going on and like think about it. And that's what irritates me. Like, especially, like, for example, Ride to Happiness, obviously you don't have a moment to, like, just think. Whereas compared to, like, Helix, you're, like, you're going up a big hill and then we're going down the hill. So you have time to, like, process what movement you just did, and you just don't on that. Yeah. Even on, like, the Smiler, you have enough time to process what's going on.
I think that's perhaps one about elements being quite defined. I think many RMCs and Untamed in particular, when you look at like the actual elements of that ride, it's hard to name them. They're always just kind of airtime hill after airtime hill, small airtime hill, slight inversion, small airtime. It's all
and like one after the other with no elongated bits of track where you're just on the track, just chilling upright.
Yeah.
So it's another one where it's like, I can see why people like it, but it's not for me, thank you. But I can't remember where I put it on my rankings now, because obviously I had a few more to add to my list.
What's your number 1?
Helix.
What was your number 2 before? Probably something stupid like
Good question.
Or Boulder.
Might be Boulder.
Probably is.
I don't know. What was it? Do we have all the lists saved?
No.
Just your most recent list. I don't think my top 5 changed.
Where did you put Untamed then? You can't, because it's not
I don't think I put it very high up. Like, it was in top 20, but
top
probably
20? Christ.
Probably around the 10 mark, maybe. I don't know. That's me making it up. Yeah. I can see why people like it. It was good. It is good. It's just a no from me. But I would ride it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm always so negative.
You have a specific type of ride.
Yeah.
I'm the same.
Yeah, but I feel like this ticks more of your boxes than mine.
Kind of.
The chaos element. What didn't do it for you then?
So, well, I mean, it's very good. I think once we'd ridden it in the back and the front, where you're forced over the hills a lot more, I appreciated it a lot more.
Yeah.
It felt, it felt like it was giving what it was meant to give. Whereas when we initially rode it, it wasn't always performing over every hill, Whereas, when we'd ridden it a bit later, you kind of literally are thrown out of your seat every single time, and it becomes quite a relentless up and down. I have a few qualms with RMC generally. To name a few.
Okay.
Well, the first one is the train design is awful.
Yeah, well, you're lanky, aren't you? So.
Well, no. It's just bad. RMC, I don't know if people really think about this, but I don't think from a technical point of view, RMC are very, I was going to say good. From a technical point, I don't think RMC rides are quality. I mean, you think of...
As in, not the execution, but their initial design.
Not the layout, not the ride, not the actual kind of design. I'm talking about the actual parts, the way it's built.
Yeah, but I don't know how to describe what I mean. It's not a shoddy piece of work.
No,
they've just designed it badly.
It's not a shoddy piece of work, but it's not a premium product, right? If I was
terms of material or
in terms
design,
of build quality, we're not talking about. You're talking about,
go into give me an example.
You're talking
maybe
design
the
of the systems, right? The design of the train, the design of the track, not the layout of the track, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in that sense, sure. The track is fine, but the trains are just not modern. They're just not modern at all. Essentially, it's almost like when RMC built their own trains, because the first two rides that RMC built did not feature their own trains. They made the track and built it themselves and physically constructed the ride at location themselves. Then they paid Gerstlauer to build them trains. Okay? Mm-hmm. Specifically the second train on Iron Rattler is quite a modern design where, many roller coasters nowadays feature very open trains. Think Taron, think Helix and all that kind of thing, where there's nothing really to the side of you. You're almost raised off the floor and you're just kind of there, right? You're just in the air with no real protection from anything, very exposed.
Yeah.
Because that's the way we're trending towards, comfortable trains that expose you to the elements because it makes everything feel more crazy, more intense, faster. You get what I mean? Iron Rattler, exact same theory in train design, right? It's got staggered seating, so the back row is slightly higher, no sides, very small front car, so you can see over it and everything. Very akin to most roller coaster trains of the 2010s. When RMC built their own trains, it's almost like they went, wow, let's have a look at how wooden roller coaster trains for the past 100 years have been, and then made a new one in the exact same way. So they kept the really boxy, four walls design. They kept this almost huge, wide seat.
But is there a wooden roller coaster that has a modern train?
Well, but why is that
Iron
the question?
Rattler one.
Yeah, Iron Rattler is an RMC roller coaster.
So
with a
it
more
is
modern
possible
train.
to use that kind of train on a wooden track.
Yeah. It's not a wooden track, it's a steel track.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
RMCs aren't really wooden roller coasters, right? At the end of the day.
No.
They're not wood. They're steel roller coasters that want to make you think they're not steel. They are really steel. They ride like steel roller coasters. There's no doubt about it, right? A hybrid roller coaster
like a wooden
ain't a
casing.
It's just a load of baloney. It genuinely is. It's almost a detriment to RMC that they use wood in their supports because it limits the designs that they can do.
You just think they should go steel?
Well, wait until Exodus opens at Thorpe Park, right? Because in my mind, Exodus is like an RMC that's made entirely of steel.
Okay.
Except it looks even more crazy because steel everything allows you to make rides more intense. RMCs, in terms of positive force, can't subject you to really high, intense positive forces because the wooden structure can't take it.
Mm-hmm.
The newer ones try and do that. If we look at Iron Gwazi, right, most of the original RMCs have entirely wooden structures, but if you look at Iron Gwazi, which is, you know, the latest hybrid roller coaster that is the tallest, the fastest, right?
Mm-hmm.
You look at it, and there are loads of steel bracing supports, like huge rods that connect the very top of the wooden structure to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Loads of them.
So it's cheating.
Well, it's not cheating.
But it's pointless having wood.
In a way.
Just crack on with the steel.
The whole point of RMC, right, is that they've taken old wooden coasters and improved them.
Yeah.
So they're using wood because that's
USP,
the...
Yeah.
But that was what the original ride was.
Yeah.
Like Robin Hood was a wooden coaster.
Yeah.
So they take the wooden coaster, add more wood on top. Bob's your uncle. Yeah. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
Right, what I'm saying is...
Reuse, recycle.
If you're building like a ground up roller coaster, a brand new one...
Yeah. Why are you doing wood? Yeah.
It's always pointless.
It makes sense.
I guess, whatever. That's beside the point. So yeah, they can have like nicer trains. I say nicer. But yeah, really boxy trains.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Which I don't like. It's just not right. It just feels a bit, don't know, kind of walls you in a bit more compared to other rides. You don't feel as exposed. You kind of feel like you want a wooden roller coaster that does a bit more. Whereas I don't want to feel that way. I don't know.
Okay.
Do you get that sentiment?
Yeah, I just don't know if the train is that big of a deal to me, unless it's very uncomfortable.
Well, and that's the second part. The shape of the train, I don't think is very good.
I think you're feeling that feeling because you're uncomfortable, whereas I'm small enough to not feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, this is true. The second part is that the restraint is another tragedy. It has shin guards, which are...
To be fair, it's not even that great for me.
So bad. Like, I have to put my legs... Imagine a number 7, right? Where the base of the 7 is my legs, which are going underneath the seat in that kind of angled position. That is not comfortable.
No.
But I cannot put them any other way.
No.
So I'm kind of sitting there the entire ride just thinking, well, I'm not really, because as soon as it begins... You kind of forget about it. But then, when you're in the station or going on a lift hill or on a brake run, you are reminded. And that's not even true as well, because the fact that it's strong airtime where you're out of your seat is constantly hitting my shins against the shin guards.
Yeah, enjoyable airtime.
Or the alternative is you have a bit of space, right? Mm-hmm. And when you have a bit of space, my shins aren't hitting the shin guard, but my abdomen is constantly being hammered against the restraint from the up and downs. Yeah. So it's like, all right, where do I want the pain? Do I want my shins to feel the pain, or do I want my lower abdomen to feel the pain? Yeah. It's not good.
No.
It's just not very well done.
No.
There's not many companies that... Every company outside of Europe who designs roller coasters seems to know how to make... No, that's not right. Every company outside of North America who makes roller coasters seems to know how to make roller coaster trains. Mm-hmm. They're just not comfortable, especially Untamed as well. Like the RMC ride, trains are really bad for tall people, as you said, right? And you're building a roller coaster in the tallest nation in the world.
That's a good shout.
It's really
Everyone's tall.
Really not good.
No,
it's just a bit silly.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. They're not going to change it. Well, I can't imagine it will. They're sticking to the guns right now. But it's just uncomfortable, and I think you could make the rides even more crazy if you took away some of the edges of the trains and made it feel even more exposed. Make it feel like it's a modern roller coaster as opposed to this weird roller coaster that's kind of stuck in the past with its train. I don't know. It's just a bit.
What did you like about the ride?
Well, it's just got a lot of airtime, isn't it? It doesn't really... It's very good, right? Is what I'm going to add and say. It's a very good roller coaster. And for most enthusiasts, it's probably really, their ideal ride.
Yeah.
It's not for me because it doesn't do anything except for, airtime hill after airtime hill after airtime hill, which is fun for a string of a few airtime hills and then gets a bit boring. You almost need a string of airtime hills, something else, a string of airtime hills, something else.
You almost need a bit of time to think about what is going on.
Well, not even that. I just want to be crushed into my seat at some point, or
Lovely.
Some other element.
Not in that restraint, mate.
Well, exactly. Some other kind of element happening.
Yeah. Variation.
Whereas, variation. There is no variation.
Yeah.
Maybe at the beginning.
There is a little bit. We're not, it's not literally airtime hill, airtime hill,
No.
airtime hill. We're just exaggerating for the point.
The whole return journey is pretty much. It feels... Because, they chuck an inversion in there every so often, which is fine, but even then it's not... It feels kind of the same. I don't know. I think it suffers from the problem that many other high-ranking rides suffer for me, which is there is no memorable moment. Mm-hmm. If you think about that ride, could you tell me a bit... Exactly. Same with Taron.
It's all the same.
No memorable moment. It's all just one big blur of well, you dip to the left, you dip to the right, then you dip up and down and
even
again.
with rides like Icon, which we don't rank that highly.
Icon has a big memorable moment.
They have memorable moments,
of course.
yeah.
Helix, fantastic string of elements on
incredible.
that. I think it's a detriment to the ride that it has no memorable moment, and I perhaps imagine that other RMCs are similar. Wildfire.
I couldn't even tell you what they do, what happens.
Yeah, I think Iron Gwazi will be a bit different because that does have at least one signature element.
Okay.
Which is apparently very good. We shall see. But yeah.
But regardless of what we think, it's still a solid addition, a solid change
it's
of
way
Robin
better
Hood.
than Robin Hood.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to my final point about why I don't like it.
Oh, okay.
So,
sorry.
just like you have a list of things that you like a ride
Checklists,
to have.
yeah.
My checklist is chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Some good strong airtime, obviously, to that box. I need a decent sense of speed. Untamed does not have that. I don't think it really feels fast at any single point.
No.
Which it's not a very tall ride.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to.
Fine.
Yeah.
Fine. It's what it is.
Fine.
The problem I find, which is a really silly point to make, is that it's too smooth.
Okay. You want to feel the wood.
Not even that. I just want to feel like I'm on a roller coaster.
I don't think it's that smooth.
It's very smooth. It's gloss.
Isn't
it is primo, perfect, glass sheet smooth. You just almost feel like you're floating along the track, which is,
Maybe that's why their theme is
maybe. But on some rides, that's good. Like Galactica, very smooth.
Yeah.
And that works
Makes
because
sense.
you're gracefully flying. Mm-hmm. I feel like on a ride that's trying to kill you and throw you out of your seat, it's almost, again, a bit of a detriment.
Be a bit rough.
Not rough, but I want to...
Shaky.
I want to feel
What's the word?
Track.
You want to feel...
vibrations.
Okay,
almost.
Vibrations. Okay.
I want to
So you think it's all dampened?
Not
the movements?
Not really. I don't know, Zoe. I don't think many other people share the same issue.
Is Wicker Man smooth?
No.
Okay.
That's a proper wooden coaster, so of course
Is Wildfire smooth?
Oh, it's borderline.
Okay.
Just like Boulder is borderline. It's a wooden coaster, but it's pretty goddamn smooth for a wooden coaster. But even rides, like Icon, like Helix, they have a bit of something. You can feel the fact that you're rolling over a track.
Okay.
It just kind of gives it almost like a more earthy, soul
authentic.
to it. Yeah, it's just kind of you need
it's too perfect.
You need this underlying almost hum to let yourself know I'm on a roller coaster.
I'm on a track.
And I'm gliding around on a track. I'm not flying on nothing.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know, man. That's just I've not really heard anyone else make that argument. So maybe it's just me.
Maybe you're just
stupid.
losing your mind.
Maybe.
Also, what do you think of the theme? Because we know you like a pre-show. And a build up, because you said Wildfire wasn't very build uppy, which I don't think Untamed is.
Untamed is nicer as a build up than Wildfire.
Okay.
There's just more going on, isn't there?
A little bit.
I think the queue is quite a nice homage to Robin Hood. The station, simple as a dispatch sound, makes a huge difference to me. Just listening to the dispatch sound as the train slowly rolls out is, I think, a great build-up.
Okay.
Something as
because
simple
obviously
as that.
the theme is quite peaceful and nice in a
Yeah.
way, so there's not much like tension being built. It's
No.
not scary. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's got enough for you.
But I feel like that ride is not trying to be scary. I don't think it can be that scary in a way.
Mm-hmm.
One, it's not very tall. It's not very fast. And all it does is go over big hills most of the time.
Mm.
You know? I don't think that is... If I thought
Doesn't
scary
warrant
ride, I wouldn't think Untamed.
No.
So I think
Okay.
that kind of... There's less of a clash there. Whereas, Ride to Happiness has a really nice, relaxing theme.
Yeah.
And then it starts off with a really slow roll out of the station.
Yeah.
Very opposite things.
Okay.
Don't you think?
Yeah. So it fits the ride.
I think so.
Okay.
I think it looks very nice.
Well, we all know that the reason why Carnival is your top is because of the experience. I was just checking
Yeah.
that box was suitably ticked.
Well, it's not terrible.
It's
So,
passable.
I mean, it's decent.
Okay.
But I mean, I must say that for my rankings, which are Carnan, Ride to Happiness, Helix,
Woo. Boulder.
Helix Town, and then probably Untamed. So it's very high.
So what is it? Number 7?
5.
5.
It's very high.
Okay.
Again, above Wildfire, same for you.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
better than Wildfire.
Better than Boulder.
Yeah. Yeah. Boulder's a bit
What
of a
a
funny
lie.
one.
Boulder's like...
It's not as fun as Boulder.
It's like a different... It's a
Yeah.
different league table.
It's not as fun as Boulder.
Yeah.
Even though it's like the same thing,
It's not.
it's kind of this. It's not. Well, and that's the distinction between short pops of really over the top airtime
Yeah.
and longer sustained ones. And a lot of enthusiasts seem to prefer the first, whereas I much prefer the latter.
Yeah.
I'd rather be less fierce but long.
When we next go on Boulder, it's not going to live up to the memory, is
Yeah,
it?
probably not. Well, you're going to go on
We've
Mako
hyped
soon,
it.
and that's like a steel boulder, I guess,
Okay,
to some
exciting.
degree. So, anyway, it's obviously the best roller coaster there.
Yep. Solid ride. Good ride.
So,
Very, very good.
the fact that we've just kind of beaten it down
Just
for 25
slated it,
minutes is again, it's a very, very good roller coaster.
Yes.
So-
World class.
If you want to go to Walibi, if you're thinking about going to Walibi Holland just for Untamed, you won't be disappointed.
No, we're just very special people who have weird opinions.
Wow.
Goliath.
Goliath.
Interesting.
In what way?
I thought it was going to be better than it was. I don't know why.
You thought it was going to be better?
Yeah.
Have you even seen what it is? Was?
Yeah, because there's that picture of you stood next to it, right?
Why?
I don't know. Is it because I don't understand why I didn't like it? Is it because the hills... So take Boulder, for example. Those little hills are smaller than Goliath's hills, right?
The little hills.
Like the hills on Boulder, the airtime hills,
Yeah.
they're smaller than Goliath's.
Which one's on Goliath?
Any of them.
There's ones at the end, which are
Yeah,
quite
forget
small.
the end ones. I mean the big ones.
Yeah.
It's just like it's too big?
Not necessarily. You could give the exact same forces on both hills. A big hill could provide exactly the same level of airtime as a small hill.
But it didn't feel fun. Well, it did. But
Well,
it felt like fun, but then it pushed a little bit too far into like intensity.
Maybe. I think also what's the fun aspect of Boulder is the chain of them.
Okay.
Whereas-
So whoa.
Yeah. Whereas,
Yeah.
and maybe the tunnels and all of that kind of additional thing.
But I
don't know.
think the feeling, I don't know if it's G-forces or what, the feeling that it gave me was just not quite right. It was fun. It was fun. We're just slating all these rides now. They are good rides, I promise. Something was like a bit weird about it. I can't put my finger on it. I don't know. It was fine.
It was fine.
I don't know how to describe what I mean. Like, things go through... Do things go through your head when you're on a ride? Like, are you almost not talking to yourself, but like you're having thoughts
I guess.
about, this
Well,
is nice?
Yeah.
Okay. I had a lot of this is nice, and then it was like, ooh, this is a bit much.
Right.
It's kind of like...
What, going over the hills?
I don't know. I can't remember where...
Do you remember what the middle bit does?
There's a helix, right?
Yeah, there's a helix.
That
then
was
like
intense, I think.
a smaller hill, then another helix, and then a
Yeah.
smaller hill. And
It's
then
kind of
another one.
like, on Swarm where you black out sometimes or grey out.
Yeah.
That's G-forces, right?
Yeah, it's intensity, positive
yeah,
G-force.
That's what I didn't like.
Well, that would have been on the helix section.
Yeah,
really.
I didn't like that.
Well, fair enough.
Well, no, it's not I didn't like... Oh, just so negative. Oh, I didn't not like it. To me, looking at it, I thought, oh my God, that's going to be so fun, like Boulder. Like, way. But it wasn't. It was a bit much compared to what I thought.
Yeah. I think the layout on that one's a bit strange, that it kind of... The first few airtime hills and even that weird kind of dive is really good, and then you do like a really long helix and you're like, oh, that was a bit weirdly placed, but fine. Then you go over another, like an S hill, then you do another really long helix and you're like, wow, why? And then you kind of get back into the swing of just doing small airtime hills at the end.
Yeah.
So like the first third and the last third are good in my opinion.
Right.
Like that's the good stuff. And then I like a helix, but not when it's that long. I don't need two of them either. Helix. It's very long, and it doesn't really you kind of get the vibe of it very quickly.
You're and then you're like,
I'll move on now. Yeah. Next element, please.
Yeah, and I think that's what I mean. Like the big hills as well. Like the timing of it's just weird to me. On Boulder, I feel like I could be just remembering Boulder so wrong.
Maybe.
But I feel like it was a perfect amount of time to be like, whoa, this is fun, and then you're back down.
It
and
is
then
quite
whoa.
quick, relatively.
Whereas Goliath was like, whoa, okay, we're still going. Okay, moments past now, and we're down, and then we go again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that's fine.
You enjoy that?
I don't have any problems with the hills.
Yeah.
At all. Yeah, just the helixes. What Goliath does have is a really good sense of speed, especially on the front. It's very
It was good
fast,
on the front, yeah.
Very fast, a lot of fun. And then, the back is really good for those final 3 airtime hills, which are a huge amount of fun as well.
Yeah, the 3 at the end are good.
So,
but they're shorter, aren't they?
Yeah, they're shorter.
I think the big ones are too long for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to see when I go on more.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Yeah. Well, Mako is literally just big airtime hills. But they're not... They're meant to be weightless, so you're meant to not feel anything, as opposed to being pushed out of your seat. You're just meant to kind of float there.
Okay.
But for an extended period of time.
Yeah, see, it might be too long.
But if you're floating, you might be okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
The sensation of floating, like...
is different.
Just being there for like 3 seconds is pretty spooky.
Yeah. Okay, we'll report back on that and see whether it's the longness.
Good trains though. For a ride built in like 2000 or 2002 or whenever it was.
all good. Yeah, it was all
very
good.
Very nice trains. Well, same as Boulder set up trains wise, except Boulder's a wooden coaster that features like a wooden coaster train. But
it doesn't matter because it's Boulder.
But the restraints are really good. So it's okay.
We need to start like a Boulder cult or something.
I think other people like Boulder.
Do they?
Yeah, I don't think it's
Where
just
are you?
us.
I've not heard from anyone who likes Boulder.
It's probably not the cool opinion, is it?
So, we are making it cool. Okay, the yellow one.
Yellow and black.
I don't think I liked that, did I?
Lost Gravity. Well, don't ask me.
Because I can't remember. We went on so much new stuff, I just can't remember. Because didn't I only go on it once?
No.
I went on it twice. Oh, because we went through the little bus, didn't we, to get on?
I think we went on it like 3 times.
Okay.
I didn't go on it.
I genuinely can't remember it, so I don't really want to comment.
Well,
what was it like? Tell me some elements.
It starts with a relatively fast lift hill, then like a drop straight up the lift hill that dives underneath the lift almost. So you
I don't like
to
that.
The right and then go under.
Yeah. Okay.
Like very cool.
This is more your kind of jam, isn't it?
Well, half of it. Again, it suffers from the same as Goliath. The first half is really good, and the second half is just a bit meh. Like they're completely different rides, very different. The whole first half is like, how quickly can we throw you out of your seat? Very whippy turn off the drop. Then you go over a pop of airtime. Then you go over like a big top hat, which is really cool.
Okay.
Then you go over a big airtime hill. You do like an off-axis turn into the mid-course. All hunky-dory. Really, really fun.
Yeah.
And for a while, the airtime on... I think like the hill after the first drop is a very strong pop. And it was a lot of fun. But then the second half just kind of doesn't do anything. It like takes all the speed out of it.
But I think that's the same as Smiler. Like the second half is very different.
I don't agree with that at all.
Don't you?
No.
It's different.
It's different.
It's less fast.
Yeah.
It's like
I
not
guess.
as well paced, in my opinion. Anyway, let's not talk about
I
tomorrow.
guess. Yeah, it's just a bit more slow and meandery and kind of like navigating turns, which, obviously that's going to be the case.
You mean like it's gradually kind of comes
Yeah,
to the
it
end?
loses steam, and it
Yeah.
feels like it's losing steam. And
Okay.
I feel like the problem is it just doesn't... The rest of the layout doesn't really provide any sort of oomph, The first half is all oomph.
Energy. Yeah.
And then the second half is no oomph in comparison.
Okay.
If it was more levelized,
Equal,
it might
yeah.
be better.
Yeah.
But because it's such
It's a
a
shame
big
about the
difference.
end.
Yeah, that it's fine. It also shuffles really weirdly.
I don't know what that means.
It's not rough per se, but the train
jolting.
almost like judders along the
Okay.
track, like it finds itself getting stuck,
Right. Not good.
which provides a weird sensation that's not like akin to normal roughness. It doesn't feel like Colossus, but where your head's being shaken or shooken.
Shooketh.
But it just feels like there's something that's not quite right.
Yeah, but again, a solid ride for the park.
Again, yeah, really good. It's a really good ride, just generally. It's a lot of fun. I just wish the second half did more.
And now the pièce de résistance, the stupid, I don't even know what theme it was, train theme, right?
Yeah, Express Platform 13.
Platform 13.
Yeah.
Why do we need to do that?
What? The
Why?
the queue at the beginning. It's really cool.
No,
It's like a
it's
scare maze.
not. Yeah, exactly.
really fun.
People like me don't want to be subjected to that to get on the ride. There should be two options. They should say, are you okay with scare mazes? And then they send you that way.
I mean, it's not really a scare maze. It's just a bit
It's
of
not
like
a scare.
spooky
Yeah,
corridors.
but it's very dark and you don't know what's going to happen.
Nothing happened.
Yeah, but something could have happened the whole time.
You
and
were
you're
behind
you're
me
on
anyway,
the edge
so
of
it's
your
fine.
seat.
I was leading the way.
Yeah, and then,
It's
and then a
cool.
horrendous ride at the end of it.
Yeah, I mean,
Not the best.
the restraints are terrible on that ride. The launches are really fun. I'd say the same for Rock and Roller Coaster, right? Like, the launch is really good, and the first element, the Sea Serpent Roll, is very fun, and then it's a bit crap.
And then it carries on.
So it's just a bit kind of meh. I really do like the launch though. They are a lot of fun. I just wish it kind of ended. Launch and then
Get
stop.
off.
And
Yeah.
just keep going around the launch. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that. But yeah, I mean, I really like the theming. It's cool. I wish there was more of the rides at Walibi Holland had that kind of... It's a bit of a weird one though, I guess, because you have that such interesting theme. And then,
it's
you kind of
like
shoot out a tunnel, and then
anticlimactic.
you're like, oh, we're into daylight.
Yeah.
And it's not really much going on. You're just kind of there.
But it's better than it not being themed well.
Yeah,
at all.
100%.
Yeah.
It's also weird that it's like right at the entrance to the park.
Yeah. The
Very
queue's like right
strange.
there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Overall, it was a good park.
It's a really nice park. I think
Yeah.
that
They're on the up, aren't they?
yeah, in terms of the way the park looks, when I visited in 2018, it definitely didn't look as nice as it does in 2022. They've been continuously like improving the themed areas, adding new theming, kind of trying to bring all of the areas to, or all of the rides within each area together to make them feel more coherent and it feel like more like one nice area. And I feel like the style that the park's going for is very obvious in the places that they've done that so far. You can envision what the entire park would look like when it's finished with that kind of stylization. And it really works for them. I don't, they are a thrill park at the end of the day, and I don't think that they always need, or they always want to do super themed rides. You don't need to do that.
No.
Just need to make it look nice. And it does.
Yeah.
All the areas that have been redone have looked really, really nice. So yeah, I think it's definitely on the up, and I think they're getting a RMC single rail coaster at some point. I think they're also getting like an indoor area as well. Maybe an indoor area with some family rides in it. I
Okay.
can't remember. I think there was some family-esque rides going there, which is probably quite a good idea. So
Makes sense based on what they already have.
yeah. But no, it's a nice park with a really good like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Very, very
and
solid.
good vibes, good food.
Very solid.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that concludes our 2022 trips.
Yeah, mostly.
Ta-da! Okay, let's get down to business.
To buzziness.
Buzziness. Vote Coaster 2022. Go, go, go.
Yes.
If you don't know what that Vote Coasters is...
Yeah, you tell them.
Vote Coasters is the world's best roller coaster poll. It's a community roller coaster poll where loads of people, I will tell you how many soon, go on and rank all the rides they've ridden ever in their lives. And then basically Harry does some cool stuff with the numbers, the stats, whatever you want to call it. And it's quite a fair way to compare roller coasters and get a top list of rides, because it doesn't bias based on how many people have ridden a specific ride. So you could have, it could be a non-popular ride or one that people don't get to a lot, and it could still be fairly ranked in the top rides.
Yeah, we don't look at, basically take everyone's list. We compare every roller coaster against every other roller coaster in the individual lists.
Yeah.
So if you ranked Nemesis and Oblivion, and I ranked Nemesis and Swarm, for you it would only look at Nemesis and Oblivion, and for me it would only look at Nemesis and Swarm. It doesn't cross lists.
Mm-hmm.
You only ever compare within lists,
mm-hmm.
right? Which is a better way of doing it to begin with. But you essentially look at through everyone's list, and let's take Nemesis versus Oblivion. We look at everyone's list who has both Nemesis and Oblivion, count how many times Nemesis is higher than Oblivion, count how many times Oblivion is higher than Nemesis, right? And if Nemesis is higher more of the time,
it wins.
And we do that for every pair of roller coasters.
Yeah.
So there were something like 18 million permutations. So 18 million pairs of roller coasters that it looks at to then kind of aggregate up.
Yeah.
So yeah, quite a lot. And I think in the end, there was 2,596 people who ranked a total of 130,000 roller coasters.
Incredible.
On their lists. Then what else am I trying to find? 48 countries. People from 48 countries.
People from 48 countries.
Yep.
How many countries are there in the world? 100 and something.
300 and something, maybe.
Come on, guys.
205, I don't know.
Okay. Some
number like that. A decent amount of countries.
Yeah.
I mean, the stats aren't that interesting, but yeah. So a decent, quite a large amount of people essentially took part in the poll and submitting their rankings. And as Zoe said, I analysed them all, took a look at them, and we have the result.
Drum roll, please.
Go on then. Wow. So in previous years, let's look at last year just really quickly. So last year, the top three was Steel Vengeance as number one. Mm-hmm. Steel Vengeance was number one in 2020 also, the first year that we ran this bigger poll. Then it was Zadra, number two. And then it was El Toro, number three. So Steel Vengeance being an RMC roller coaster, Zadra being an RMC roller coaster, and then El Toro being an intimate wooden roller coaster, like Boulder, but bigger version, basically.
Yeah.
This year, the results have changed. We obviously have new rides
that
have opened
since.
Stuff like Icebreaker at SeaWorld Orlando, Phonics at Farup Cinemaland in Denmark, and the big one being Iron Gwazi at Busch Gardens Tampa, and then also Pantheon at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. So a decent amount of
contenders,
yeah, exactly. And I think people were very interested to see where Iron Gwazi was going to rank, because I think there's a split opinion on
how good it is,
and especially compared to Steel Vengeance. They're both huge RMCs, both very quick, but they take a different approach to the design. Steel Vengeance is more akin to like Untamed in that it's very long and has lots of pops of airtime, whereas Iron Gwazi is more like a newer version of RMCs where it's less like that, and there are more individual elements where you're quickly kind of traversing through them. I can't really give you a better example. Just a bit different. A different design philosophy, basically. So it's shorter than Steel Vengeance by quite a bit, but it seems to traverse the elements much faster. Yeah. Maybe more chaotic.
So it's not a battle of like a very similar style of ride. Well obviously they are the same.
Exactly the same.
But they're different as much as they can be, even though they're the same.
Yeah, exactly. I think Iron Goliath is like 1 foot taller. So they're like pretty much... Yeah. They both pretty much have the exact same parameters to work with. Yeah. Same height, same speeds. Right?
Okay.
But it's how you use that.
Different style of using it. Yeah. Anyway.
So it was always going to be a close one. Always going to be close to see, in everyone's list, you know, who preferred or how many preferred Steel Vengeance over Iron Goliath.
Yeah. Which is the best approach.
Yeah. So there were 206 people who had ridden both.
Okay.
So a decent amount of matchings. 105 of them preferred Iron Gwazi over Steel Vengeance.
Stop it. So just over half.
So 4 more people preferred...
That's so interesting.
Iron Gwazi over Steel Vengeance. Therefore, meaning that Iron Gwazi in their battle beat Steel Vengeance.
Yeah.
So historically, Steel Vengeance loses to no other roller coaster. That's why it's number 1, right? Yeah. Steel Vengeance is number 2, losing only to Iron Gwazi.
Yeah.
Therefore, making Iron Gwazi the new number 1. So
Congrats.
this is it. Our new top 3 goes Iron Gwazi, Steel Vengeance, and then Velocicoaster.
Velocicoaster.
That was number 4 last year. So it's not a huge surprise.
So more people have ridden it.
Yeah, usually
like that ride?
Well, you usually find 2. Like often, the first year a ride gets ranked. It's not going to be in its final position. It either is ranked too high.
People haven't settled into it yet.
Or too low.
Yeah.
Some rides, people go in thinking that it's amazing, and then
I see it's kind of about expectations as well.
A little bit, but later down the line they go, actually, it wasn't as good as that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put it a bit lower next time. Okay. Some rides are the opposite. They're kind of like slow burners.
Yeah.
So...
Interesting.
You know, it might rank a bit lower to begin with, and then shoot up. So Velocicoaster... Obviously,
so people have warmed to it now.
Pretty decently ranked to begin with, being 4th, and now it's gone up to 3rd. Even though there's been a new entry at the top, so technically it's risen 2 places before dropping down 1 afterwards. Does that make sense? So yeah, that one's done pretty well. I don't know where I was going with that. But yeah, Steel Vengeance is now number 2.
Let's do the rest of the top 10, shall we?
Yeah, okay. Iron Gwazi, Steel Vengeance, Velocicoaster. Zadra is number 4, down from 2. Fury 325 is number 5.
Yeah.
An interesting one is Ride to Happiness, which is now number 6. Now, Ride to Happiness was 13th last year.
Wow.
So, you know, some rides go down after their initial rankings. Ride to Happiness went up, and quite drastically. So I think people kind of settled on the opinion and realised that it's a very good ride and deserves to be up there. At number 7 we have El Toro, so that dropped down 4 places.
Okay.
Number
El Toro
8,
is old news now.
Number 8, Lightning Rod. Number 9, The Voyage. And number 10, Wildfire. Followed closely by Untamed at number 11.
Woo-woo!
Wrong way round, but sure.
Not according to everybody else who voted.
Yeah. So, very interesting. Very interesting, like, rankings there.
Yeah. And if you want to see all of them, is it the top 50s on the website?
Well, the top 50 on the initial page, and then it goes down to the top 500 on the other page, and then you could download the Excel spreadsheet that has all 1,300 roller coasters.
Lovely
in
job.
If you want to.
So yeah, head to
coasterbot.com.
Coasterbot.com. Whatever you like, Google it.
Yeah.
And have a look yourself.
The kind of the way it works is that we basically produce a score, right, for each roller coaster. So for Iron Gwazi, it battled 1,000 roller coasters and won every single one.
Yeah.
So it's 1,000 divided by 1,000.
Okay.
Steel Vengeance battled 1,092 and lost 1. So it's 1,091 divided by 1,092.
Yeah.
So you get like a basically a win percentage of all the coasters it went up against. What percentage did it win? Mm-hmm. And that percentage is like minutely different in like the top 10. It's tiny.
Okay, so it's very close.
Oh, it's very, very close.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So there's barely anything in it at the kind of top end of things. Yeah. It's very cool. I don't know what else to talk about other than...
Thank you for voting.
Wow, thank you for voting, yeah. I mean, some interesting stats being 28 of the top 50 are located in the USA.
Okay.
5 in Germany, 3 in Poland, and then the rest are spread across various other countries. Then, compared to last year, obviously we've had a new year. Actually, 2022, obviously quite a few roller coasters opened. Let's quickly go through the ranks of all the new ones. So obviously, Iron Gwazi being number 1. We have Pantheon, very highly regarded roller coaster, and that came 30th.
Okay.
Pretty good. Phoenix at Farup Summerland in Denmark, 59th. Pretty good. Wonder Woman, Flight of Courage at Six Flags Magic Mountain. That's an RMC single rail coaster. 82nd. Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind.
Yeah.
111. So pretty good. I think Hagrid Bike is about 79.
Okay.
In comparison.
Interesting.
So not too far off. Icebreaker is SeaWorld Orlando's new one. That came 204. So not quite as high. And there's some of the others, like Daddy Pig's roller coaster at Peppa Pig theme park in Florida. 1,041.
Solid.
Not quite. Yeah, not quite the heavy hitter there. So yeah, there's quite a few rides. Well, there's 4 there from this year that opened in the top 100, which is pretty good.
I mean, that's the way it should be, you'd hope.
Well,
you know?
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Rides are continuously getting better. Like, I think there's, of the top 50, 3 of them were built before 2000.
Wow.
There's a bit of a bias there because you obviously find that older roller coasters close, and we only look at operating roller coasters here.
Right.
You know, so if something's
So
closed,
something which is no longer running could have actually beaten...
Yeah,
technically,
if it was any
Iron
good.
Gwazi, but yeah.
If it was any good, which, you know...
But that's quite difficult as well because you want to be looking at this moment in time right now, don't you?
Yeah, you do. So yeah, there's a bit of bias there, but also not too bad. You generally find that 70% of the roller coasters in the top 50 were built at 2010 onwards.
Yeah.
You know, so we're within the last 13 years.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, which makes a whole load of sense. So yeah, generally roller coasters are getting better. Some other interesting positions. Fly went up from 27th to 22nd. So that's obviously settled.
Right.
It's like trying to find its position. I think it went up last year a bit and now it's gone up even further. My beloved Kanan has gone up a bit from... What was it before?
You need to get your campaign together for next year.
32nd to 27.
Okay.
So, you know, it's risen a little bit.
How's my Helix done?
I think Helix went down.
Solid.
Yeah, so Helix is on 23rd this year and was 17 last year.
That's not good.
No. A big one, Tiger at Linnamaki. It's an intimate multi-launch coaster, akin to Taron, but some people say better. That was 19 last year, and now makes the 12th spot above Taron.
That's
for
a
the
good
first
move.
time. Yeah, so it's very interesting, things going on. You have to have a look, basically. Go on there, take a look at.
Have a gander.
Have a gander, see where your favourite ride ranks. Hagrid is 70th. To put it into perspective. So very
I would
good.
expect that to be a bit higher. I don't know why.
Well, it's surrounded by Boulder 68.
That's not good enough, guys. I'm sorry.
So I mean, the roller coasters that's nearby are pretty solid, like pure roller coasters. So for Hagrid Bike, which is, not the most thrilling roller coaster in the world, to rank 70th
True.
is pretty good.
True.
I wouldn't argue with that. So yeah. Very exciting. So, come January, we'll be riding the world's best roller coaster, allegedly.
Woo-hoo.
The world's third best roller coaster.
And the world's 70th
The world's
best.
70th best. The world's 111th best. The Guardians. Wow. Much to look forward to.
Yes.
But yeah, there's obviously loads more that you could have a look at. I came up with the results yesterday, so I haven't really had much of the time to...
Fresh results.
To look and dive into the kind of detail. What I do want to do is make a video about some of the more interesting aspects of it, because you can do some quite cool comparisons by looking at how well do certain theme parks do and how well do certain manufacturers do relative to the number of rides they've built.
Yeah.
Right. And even just compare positions. So what you'll find on the website is you'll be able to see 2020, 2021 and 2022 next to each other. So you'll be able to look at the 2022 results. So, Iron Gwazi, Steel Vengeance, Velocicoaster, and see where those roller coasters ranked in previous years. So obviously Iron Gwazi won't have previous rankings.
Yeah.
But you'll be able to see that Steel Vengeance has gone from 1 and is now 2. And you'll be able to do that for all the others, which is really interesting. And the whole point is being able to track it. So when you look at Fly, you'll be like, oh, it was roughly 40th and then went to roughly 30th and is now 22nd. So
what you should do is make a graph of all, like, to put all the roller coasters on one point and then mark the next year and how they went up or down, and then the next year again to see like the movement of all of them and the average. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, I get what you mean, but plotting 1,300 roller coasters is...
Well, you just go on Excel and like create a graph out of it, right?
Yeah, but you're not going to be able to see anything. What value are you going to get out of that
do the
chart?
top 10 then. Do the top 10.
Yeah, that might be interesting.
I don't know. It's just interesting. What I find most interesting is how they're settling into their position.
Yeah, that's what would be interesting. Is especially to take rides that opened like in 2020 or afterwards.
Yeah, that's true.
And see whether they went up or down. Or
Yeah.
not. Another one, Orion, at Kings Island at B&M Giga Coaster. It was a bit not negatively, but averagely received in its first year. I think it was 60th, and now it's gone up to 47th.
Ooh.
So that one's risen quite a bit as well. So yeah, you definitely find that they do settle. And obviously, like, rides that are very old just hover. I think Nemesis was 49 last year and is now 52. So, they generally stay in the same place.
Yeah.
But you also got to think how many new rides get added above. It's like relative positioning.
That's true.
So Nemesis...
There's actual just new entries that push it down.
Yeah, so Nemesis was 49 last year, I think. But two new rides have gone in front. So
technically it's like the same place.
It was 41, now it's 50. It would have been 51 and now it's 52. So it really went down by 1.
So yeah, so it's funny that is. Yeah.
But again, something else quite interesting to have a look at is that kind of comparison. So yeah, I want to make a video about it, but I need to dig a bit deeper to see
what we've got.
Yes.
Fab.
So there you go.
Nice one, everyone.
Coasterboard.com.
Go
Check
and
it
have
out.
a look.
Give it a share. Tell your friends. Tell your mum. The Iron Gwazi is the world's best roller coaster and you should go and ride it right now.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
According to 4 people who made that deciding vote. Is that right? I don't know.
It's very interesting how close it was.
Yes.
But we'll see who comes out top next year.
We will. Maybe Iron Gwazi will fall back.
Maybe it will.
Maybe it's just in a honeymoon state.
Yeah, could be. Have a Merry Christmas / festive period, and we shall see you in 2023.